What is going on, world? It's your boy Shinryu back again with yet another video, and today we're going to be going through the update notes and the server maintenance notice that has been served as well. Now, here's the thing that I'm sort of like being culpable for quite a bit right now. I don't typically close my game, whenever I run, Street Fighter Duel. All I do is I just kind of put it, back out of it, like just push the home button, and then I'm back on the regular, duties I can do with my phone. And what that means is that whenever there's an update note, I tend to miss them most of the time until coincidentally I sort of like would restart it, or maybe I do a force close because I want to clear the RAM and make the phone kind of run smoother, because I am running an older model like a Note 9. But why am I talking about this here? What this means is that I tend to deliver update notes quite late, which I want to actually make a change to. So what I want to do going forward is that once it's the end of the day, so that the next day whenever I actually load the game, I actually see all these things here, I'm going to go right ahead and I'm going to stop. I'm going to close the game entirely, or at least when I run the game, I'm going to just click on the notice side and see. I don't know if there was actually like an alert, like a red dots in the notice, whatever. I don't think I noticed this because I tend to go about clearing red dots. But away from that stuff, and let's go into the good stuff. Okay, so what's happening here is that we are expecting some new updates, and they're giving us a preview of what to expect. I'm going to go line by line. Okay, so the first one is that we're getting a new character. Of course, it's going to be the trial, and unlimited trial added as well. And this character is El Fuerte. Okay, now if you guys have played Street Fighter 5 or Street Fighter 4, you recognize the Rey Mysterio looking, for all you WWE fans out there, or the luchador. If you guys are into wrestling or luchadors, they typically are like this, very athletic, as well as athletes who go about jumping on ropes and all that kind of stuff and doing a move. And he's sort of like that representative of that class of fighters. Okay, because we've had different wrestlers. We have this Zangief kind of wrestler, kind of like the power wrestler who does the grapples, who does the power bombs, who does the what's this bridge move, all those, whatever. We also have, the likes of, is it Armika? Can't remember. I know there's a lady who's also a wrestler as well, but what we have here is like a luchador kind of wrestler who is not actually typically common in fighting games. If you think about it, most fighting games just put power wrestlers, like Darren Mister in the other Street Fighter, the Arikon version, and of course who are the wrestlers, like a King, in Tekken and all that kind of stuff, but they're always typically power wrestlers. Okay, so, and he was a bit of fresher in the Street Fighter verse, so use the character very nice, goes about fast. But yeah, if you guys are familiar with the character, pretty great. So he's the one who's coming in right now. That should excite a lot of Street Fighter fans. For those who are actually not into the Street Fighter verse and just like the game, he's going to be a character that's going to be exciting to use. Now, how viable is it going to be in terms of whatever, and what it's going to be his faction? I'm thinking it might be Thunder. I'm not sure yet, but he's probably going to be a regular character. That's what I'm going to say. He's not going to be like one of those, for example, not going to be like a Elena type character. He's definitely going to fall into the Master Inferno class. So, and it's definitely not going to be, legendary. Legendaries apparently are. You should actually have to be in a fashion version to be legendary at the very least. So we can actually at least put that to rest, which is nice. New character coming in, exciting stuff. But that's not pretty much it. One of the biggest news actually so far that actually went through is the fact that the new event Starlight Genesis. Okay, now when people heard talked about the chaotic Starlight, everyone was like moaning, including myself. I ain't gonna lie, I actually have videos about it. Like, it's not a free event. Like, we were hoping that, sure, let the whales have their way, but let us also have some some scrap to go as well. As long as we put in the work, we can get the stuff in. And there's one thing I actually noticed as well. It looks like the devs right now, we actually have to give them a lot of props. And I've been noticing a lot of stuff recently. They are actually listening. Of course, they have to also put themselves to consideration in terms of, like, it is a game after all. They do have to make revenues and stuff. And we are pretty much in the era where there is a lot of micro financing in the game world. But at least what they have tried to do recently, actually, ever since the past, the later part of 6 months is actually approaching right now, is They've done a lot of tweaks to kind of also accommodate it as well. Of course, it's done it slowly. Sometimes they put in some moves. We're sort of like grown about it. For example, a lot of people have grown about Fashion Ken. But let's be realistic. Like, he's going to be one of those characters that will easily get people to spend their money because it's Ken, right? That's why I'm actually worried for about my boy Ryu, and I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to ruin anybody's hopes and dreams, and we'll just see how it goes. Hopefully, he's an anniversary event and we actually enjoy it. It means we have to wait, at least 5 months more minimum. But Chaotic Starlight is actually being placed in a point where we can actually grind for it now. Probably not going to be a lot per month because obviously it's going to kind of render the likes of divination and the special summons not as painful, which might actually be the plan, meaning they're not probably not going to tweak the pity in the special summons. Instead they're going to be like, you continue to go through that grind, but at least you can be guaranteed some dupes on the other side. And that actually is the case that you have to think about. Okay, we have to be using the security side. I haven't used mine at all because I don't know who I want to use it for, but apparently it's looking like I'm going to be using it to finish up Evil Ryu because it's taking so much time. And of course, with the inclusion of 50% discount for Witchery, we kind of have no choice than to call for her. So Evil Ryu is going to be on the back seat. Still packing up my divination. So let's go on to the next spot. Okay. So Chaotic Starlight can be obtained by completing activity missions, which I actually expanded on. New gameplay modes, Master Inferno Towers now available. This is another example of what I mean by them listen to the community. Now, I know people have sort of said it, but the one person I know that I've actually heard it from in the videos that I've actually followed through has been Hazing. I do remember when he was trying to make some sort of like suggestions. I like whenever he comes up with the suggestion, that kind of stuff as well. I've sort of like kept mine for a bit, but maybe soon I'm going to start lighting out mine on what I think should be added. But it's probably wasn't the works, but it's kind of coincidental that he mentioned it, and then it's kind of, so we got to give him some props as well. But all in all, it's actually exciting. However, people like me who sort of like I've had a decent investment with regards to the master inferno characters with my draft or series, which just sort of like make sure that I just have you obviously can't force it, but sort of like I've been prioritizing even when it comes to well, one of the ones you can actually force is when it comes to, for example, the this effigy whatever. No, not the effigy. Let's not use the effigy. Let's use one of those exchange tents. Some of the extra tends to come with this Master Inferno characters, right? And I always say that whenever you see this sort of series, whatever, because these guys are scarce. Yeah, I know that is not realistic because we're not whales. We're not going to get it. It's better to use our resources on other, on other characters, on other, resources and stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is this: something scarce means that it's worth it. So if you have the chance to pick it up, I always say you pick it up, and I always pick up those kind of characters. So there is not a time when I have an opportunity to pick an Inferno or a master character. Even when it came to this, what is it the bingo? There's this all also kind of like the bingo and all this, or wish roulette where you would have to keep on the one we have to match. You have to match the cards, and then you get to a level where you can actually pick if it's a character or some heavy amount of resource and whatever kind of stuff. I always go for the character, that kind of stuff, as long as they have the Master Inferno class. Now we're going to be having those, and I have to make sure that the fact that I've been putting in work to sort of put this in, even as a free to play player, that I have to be determined to sort of go up the ranks in the tower, because I haven't put in my all when it comes to the towers for the other factions. I'm like, what, at some point I'm just going to push it, and it's just going to mean some more resources coming out of nowhere. But it's good to see that this is out here right now. That's going to actually make people actually appreciate the Master Inferno characters more, and also it's probably going to also make people not be too salty with regards to Elena coming out as a win character, because everyone says, hey, who wants to invest in this sort of characters, because we know that the Master Inferno characters are not, there's not much detriment, but now adding Master Inferno characters kind of makes them a bit more it kind of puts them a bit lower than how they were much higher because they were almost viable for whatever. And you might also start to expect, detriments to master infernal characters in like the inverse order or something. But that might just be me stretching it. Hopefully, I am, because I probably don't want to put that sort of thing out there. But then again, it also makes you flexible with your characters you're going to use. So, the other thing as well is you gameplay unlocks you after you hit 2740. Hopefully you've actually gone as far. If you haven't, it's fine. You keep pushing forward and you probably eventually get there. Okay, we're getting better and better characters as we go, so putting us in better positions, and yeah, you'll be fine. And of course, you already know what's happening with the effigy battle, Budo battle. It's going to be coming up soon again. All right. The last time I want to say something about this Budo battle. Okay, I believe the Budo battle is one where you have to pick the Bison team and the Goken team. You have I'm pretty sure that the devs set us up for a trap. If you noticed, the Goken team won, all right, but the reason why they won was because Goken almost appeared in every single versus battle. But with the Bison team, Bison would come occasionally. Whenever you see Bison, for example, paired with who was it? Who was the deadly pair with Bison? I think was Elena popping up in the Bison team, whatever. There used to be typical deadly pairs. You see Bison and whatever, just know that Bison is winning stuff. So I think they wanted to make us feel like, you know what, the light side are hardly winning anything. The dark side have been winning with Bison, and Rose never had any single win during her time as representing the light side. And I don't know why they didn't switch it to, they're going to switch Rose, then you're going to switch Akuma as well. It was going to be those two. But, they should actually make it like Ryu, but I can't use Ryu, obviously, because Ryu is just a Reggie character. So, I think that particular one where the good side actually won, where the team Goken won, is just a bit of a setup. I don't expect them to repeat them. I don't expect them to actually repeat having Goken appear in every single versus mode, so that you actually see the chance of Goku winning. But we're going to see if they actually repeat that. I expect them not to, but you never know. They might just want to just even the score because they know that Bison is really badass. Like, Bison is a very special character, and we're going to get into the character in a bit. Okay, in that from the very beginning he is indispensable. I don't care, even with the likes of Evil Ryu that I know that became the Bison killer and other characters coming through, Bison is still indispensable. I don't know how they created the character in such a way that he's just become invincible. He's just become invincible, and he's just like, really crazy. And now we're looking at some stuff coming up soon. Of course, we're explaining street art again. I love my street art. Okay. I'm going to be saving draft day for street art. Okay, hopefully I have enough to actually pull and hopefully get some Inferno or master characters now we do on draft day. Okay, and of course chef restaurants. Why can't I remember what that is about? Has it ever been out before? Then again, F40 is also a chef. I think I remember one thing about him, and I think he has a, is he a dad or his son? I think he has a, I can't remember. It probably might be his son, because I think they really used Rey Mysterio as a model for the character. But we see NS City Pursuit. You know how that works. Now, some other changes. This is where the final bit is. Okay. The first one, that the level displayed in skill description for soul powers are fixed. I don't know if I've noticed what it is, because honestly with my soul power, like, I've only ever used Evil Ryu. I'm not even like I said, I didn't touch like the poison, even though I had some spare materials. I didn't touch the likes of any of the other characters, because I kept saying one thing: more characters are gonna get soul power. All right, and now look at what it said here. Soul power feature added for Chun-Li, Mad Ryu, Hugo, Rose, and Bison. Boom, guys. I'm going to say it again. Boom. I told you guys that there was a particular like structure when they actually put out these soul powers the first time. No, a lot of people try to figure out what was the key, whatever, why were certain characters having it. And I know that the first time when I looked at it, because I looked at how they were peculiar. They were all represented every single faction or character type. We had E-Hunter representing tanks and Thunder. We had Sea Viper representing attack, and power. Power and flame. We had street poison representing support and wind. Then we had Gormagalakan representing the inferno and the special characters, whatever. You probably would have gotten it because it was the first ender, but he already took that slot. We had Jury was representing the infernos, right? Then we had someone. Okay, we already had the latest character. I think it was Goken representing Master of the Cancer, but it sort of touched everything. Assassins, yeah, it was touched. Yeah, Jury representing assassins, and all that kind of stuff. But they all covered all that stuff, and it was very practical. Why I was a bit skeptical because they used Go Magalakan as someone to represent the balanced characters. They couldn't use anybody else, but that's because the other factions had already been covered, and you can only have so much factions touching. You have 3 factions, you have 5 classes, right? So that's pretty much why they had to go beyond that, but it looked very strategic. And now, okay, I'm super excited about this stuff. Now we're having Chun-Li key characters coming in right now. Okay, Chun-Li representing hey, the main characters there. Of course, they have to use Mad Ryu because this Ryu is supposed to be ordinary, so we're using a Ryu that is the Ryu that kind of like gets tempted. If you want to describe this Ryu, it's pretty much the Ryu that gets mad and then it just kind of snaps out of it. That's pretty much the Mad Ryu here. Or not. He's not totally incarnate fully in evil Ryu form. All right, and of course, it kind of had this, the Nikali inspired, linings around him. Now I hope they make a comic about this version of Ryu because we need to understand his character more, or create like a storyline that actually explains this beyond the what would I call that? Where you go to the fighter. Let's close this here. I'm just diverting. I'm actually really excited. Beyond this gallery, explanation where you go through this, bio. Yeah. Is it a bio? Yeah, beyond the bio. Okay. I have some gems to pick up here because I think I've added a couple more characters. But let's finish this stuff up. Okay. So now, and one thing I told people was that, Bison is going to become nuts with this extra power. Okay. Bison is still no slouch without soul power, and now he's going to be getting soul power. There is going to be chaos, guys. There is going to be chaos, guys. It's actually incredible. And now I have to look at pushing up my Bison because he's obviously going to be the next guy I want to add to that list. All right. Oh, well, not really because I have Akuma to work in and all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to look at what Bison's kit translates in terms of like his power and see if we're going to add him. But I was definitely not going to put him on all the regular characters like the non-Inferno Master characters until I have spare resources. And now, as you guys can see, they've added those characters. Roles also is going to be important as well. I don't know if it's going to be both roles, but I think it's going to be definitely the main roles first of all. All right. Now, tickets won't be consumed when top ranking player on HWA. Okay, we'll see how that works out. 6 new puzzle maps added to Wonderland Training. Hey, Wonderland Training is all about gifts, right? Breeze through the stuff, get your gifts, bounce out. Grant points added as rewards for daily or weekly missions. All right. Grant points. Okay. All right. We'll see. That's not bad. All right, and then extra fighting soul fragments can be sold from inventory bag. Extra fighting soul fragments, fighting soul. Why is my head all over the place? All right, let's go right ahead. I need to. Why am I not like imagine what fighting soul is? I don't think it's the soul, whatever. No, not you. Let's call my boy Avery first of all. What's fighting soul? Fighting soul. Oh, my bad. Ah, boy. Yeah, I just kind of get out. I just kind of like got. Now I know what I don't know why. I just kind of forgot for a second. So, extra fighting soul fragments can be sold from inventory bag for cash. Is there ever going to be extra fighting soul fragments? Okay, now I think I know what we're talking about here. It's supposed to be this ones here, not the other ones. Yeah, it's this one's here. All right. So they're saying that you can actually max it out and then can turn it to cash. So people have already probably done that. I'm not even close to doing that. So that's not going to be a worry for me anytime soon. And amount of gems required for additional crusade attempts in boss rush have been corrected. All right. That's about the last bit of it. The most exciting, I'm sure, is going to be on these 2 stuff. First of all, Chaotic Starlight being available in activity missions. That is a huge plus from the devs. I have to just say it out loud right there. That is a huge plus on the devs. And then secondly, soul power, baby. We're talking about it going on major characters right now. First of all, was all test subjects and all that stuff, besides the event based characters, and now we're having it on people like Bison, like Rose. Chun Li is also badass as well, and she's gonna become even more viable. But hey, let's get back and let's back it up a little bit, okay? So we don't actually get those who actually worked on Sea Viper a little bit worked up. Sea Viper is a G for sure. She's not someone that you actually want to sleep on as well. She's carried a lot of people, and of course, she's gotten even more efficient with actually that, that and soul power. So definitely not a bad idea at all. Now let's go. Those who are actually whales, those who actually pushed Ivory and whatever, they're not going to be bothered. There's just going to be more reasons for them to actually push the other characters, fully increase their overall power and become as powerful as possible. So everybody wins in this stuff, and otherwise, that's what I wanted to actually display to you today. Once I saw this stuff, man, I was actually itching. I was like, I need to actually deliver content on this stuff, express my own views and opinions on these updates, okay, notes. And of course, because I've been watching my boy, I had to just make sure that I could actually release it because it's calling my attention right now. So I hope I've wrapped up enough. Let me know what you guys think about these updates here as well. Now, and don't forget to smash a like, subscribe to the channel as well. So trying to grow strong. 40 plus. I'm actually proud of you guys who have actually done it so far. I also realized that I've actually not been publishing my content on the Discord channel as well. I just sort of like just been doing it randomly and hoping actually getting fans to just watch in. So I'm going to start doing that as well. Otherwise, it's been your boy Shin Ryu, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers.